What is good, my people, my peeps? What are you guys doing? What are you up to? I know it has been a minute since I've come on and spoke with you guys, chopped it up with you guys. It's been 2 weeks. I did not even realize it had been 2 weeks. Um, yeah, since I did a live stream. I was doing some things, and it's just like, I don't know. It the atmosphere has just really just been off a little bit, draining. It's just been a lot going on, and for me, it's more feeling the changes, and so and trying to do other things, and I don't know. There is definitely a change. So I wanted to come on real quick. I want to talk to you guys about just give a brief message really quick. I'm gonna have to take off my glass. And this is the crazy thing. It seems like I can see better now without my glasses. Like that's what I'm talking about. Weird stuff like that. Uh, like it's not blurry now, but I put them on. I'm thinking I'm gonna read because this little bitty writing, and it's blurry with my glasses on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them on off. Um, so yeah, so I don't know if you're feeling better or if you're feeling worse. Um, but it's definitely been some atmosphere changes going on. Okay. So if you've seen the title of this live stream tonight, I wanted to talk about you never know, who you're entertaining, who you may come across. And so there was a big buzz on social media about a food critic, a young male, black male, uh, well, otherwise known as, if you will, black male food critic named Keith Lee. And I wanted to, I thought what he did and what happened when he visited Georgia over this, I think it was this past weekend. He went down there because he does tours, just like, musicians, they do tours and what have you. Well, Keith, he does a food critic tour. So he goes to different restaurants, but he doesn't tell the people, you know, uh, what restaurant he might pop up at or, and, so he doesn't give any for a warning. And so he went to a couple of restaurants in Georgia this weekend, and one of them was called Milk and Honey, which, I mean, this man, the promised land, milk and honey. I'm like, oh, this has to be a story that I have to tell in my own way of telling it. um, so he went to a restaurant, one of his first stops, and he brings his family on these ventures, right? And so he sends his wife in first to see, can they get an order? What can they do to get their food? And so service and all this good stuff. So they said that they could try to order online, but they tried ordering online and all this. But the thing is, and then when the wife was like, well, can we, get a table or whatever, it was the customer service. The customer service that was it was poor, very poor customer service. So Keith went in to the restaurant once his wife came out with the report. No, we can't get any food, and it wasn't how. Um, it wasn't the fact that they couldn't get any food because, I guess Atlanta, their restaurants, they have a lot of protocols, a lot of rules when ordering online, when coming into their restaurant, with tipping, and not the gratuity. We know most upper echelon restaurants might have more of a gratuity, on top of the bill, the tip. And so they just have a lot of rules. It wasn't the fact that they had a lot of rules, because we have rules in life, but they doing the most. Okay. They doing the dog almost from what I've seen, right? And so when Keith went in to the restaurant, then the attitudes changed. Oh, because they recognized him, right? They didn't know who his wife was, okay? But they recognized Keith because he's on social media. And he does these food reviews. And let me tell you something. When he does a food review, people, they go and that business out. It was a restaurant impossible. I believe it was that was the name of the show. Where this man would go and he would help struggling restaurants revive themselves. Well, this is what this young man does simply by visiting, tasting their food, and giving an honest review. And so when he came in, they were ready to see him. And hence the title of my live stream tonight. Yeah. Well, you never know who you are hosting, who you are entertaining in front of you. You don't know their status in life. You don't know anything about people. And that shouldn't matter by the story I'm telling you what Keith Lee did. The status of that person should not matter because you should want to treat people with humanity, dignity, and respect, because I guarantee you that's how they would want to be treated, And sometimes, especially working in corporate offices, and I've seen those gatekeepers or the receptionists be so mean and rude to people, right? Because they feel that they have a higher status, they have somewhat of they're making a power play, and it's unnecessary and uncalled for, right? So when Keith goes into the restaurant, and they were more than willing, and they were like, "Oh, we got a table for you." But this is the upstanding thing about him, what he did. Hello, Truth Serum. This is the upstanding thing. And I'll read your comment in a minute. He denied the service. He said, if I can't be treated, or if the people that were here first aren't treated the same as I'm treated, it's okay. I don't want the service and all of that. And so he declined the service, but he still did his review without food. And that's another reason why his posts have gone viral. But he's one of those type of content creators where viral is just it's nothing to him to post, right? His content is going to go viral. But this had it blew up the internet. And I don't know if it made it over here to the TikTok. I mean, from the TikTok streets over here to the YouTube streets. Yeah, so he did his review, but he was not mean or rude or anything. But the thing with people who have a large platform, although he said, don't go on their review like Yelp and all that. Don't do that and give them a bad review, or don't go flooding their comment section. But some people have hard heads. And I did not know how big of a platform he had because I've seen his stuff on TikTok. Some people's content will come to your page randomly, okay? And so it came to my For You page a couple of times, and I seen him do some reviews. And but he, told his followers, don't do nothing negative. He just wanted to give an honest review, and he did, and kept it pushing. He went to another restaurant, and let me read this, and I'll get into that. A lot of catfishing going on. Let me put that up here. A lot of catfishing going on with the online TI community. You got to tell me what you mean. Who catfishing? They catfishing. I haven't been on for 2 weeks. I have not been on here for 2 weeks. So I don't know what's going on. You gotta tell me what's popping on the YouTube streets with this catfishing. Okay. Um, yeah. So, and that's another thing. I don't know about catfishing, but half the time nobody, well, don't want to get on and get all jazzed up just to be on social media, like on Facebook. Like on Facebook, yeah, I probably catfish some folks on Facebook, madam. No, no, yeah, I posted a picture because I'm doing is trying to post one picture of myself that I'm trying to make my content be have some continuity to it. So what I want to do is have all of my photos, and when you go to one site, you'll know that's me. Just like your name and everything. Just have bringing continuity to the brand or the to who I am. So it's easy for people to find me. You don't go because so many people have um, multiple, oh goodness, I don't know how I only can do so many, but multiple social media platforms. And then they have this picture, this picture, this picture. It looked like a hodgepodge of a mess. So um, so I know that's what I'm doing. I don't know if that are you referring to me on with this comment? Let me put this comment back up here. You probably was on my social media. You probably was no. Well, no. Catfishing is different. Catfishing is using photos that are not you, right? And let me get it together because I use my own photos. Catfishing is when catfishing is when you go and you grab somebody else's photo and use. No, I wasn't catfishing. I just use my own photos. I have tons of photos. If I don't feel like going and taking no photos, snatch down what I have of me. Um, but yeah, that's interesting. And I have a story about a mother who catfished her own daughter, and I think that was the last video. Matter of fact, I dropped on YouTube. Yeah, I think that was the last video I dropped on YouTube. Um, so let me get back to Keith Lee. So yeah, he goes to another restaurant. I can't remember the name of that restaurant that he went to. What was the name of that doggone restaurant? Anyway, this was in Georgia. And so he went to that restaurant, same, MO. He went in, he sent his family in first to see, how they can order and the system, the customer service to it all of that. But they couldn't get the food, yada, yada, yada. So he went in, and then once everybody's saying, oh, it's Keith Lee, they ain't do all that. They do all that, but you get the gist of it because some people are starstruck or social media struck. I don't know because he's from social media. So they were like, well, we can sit you. Your table's ready. They were like, your table's ready for you, Keith Lee, and he was like, my table is ready, and it's such. I don't even know if he believes in the Most High or even if he, he don't have to go to church or anything like that. But if he believes in a higher power other than himself, because what he did in that Atlanta visit is he paid it forward big time. He paid it forward huge. And I'm gonna read this in a minute. So the people were like, we got your table, and he was like, no, that's okay. I'm just trying to see what your service would actually be like, or an authentic review. And so, they went on about their way, and it was the end of their trip. And so they were at Six Flags or something he did say Six Flags, and it was late, and they wanted to get something to eat because, mind you, he has his whole family with him. And so this is why I'm saying he paid it forward, and it was a blessing that whole trip. And some people block their blessings simply by how they treat people, because they have a perspective, a person. They treat people on how they see you. That catfishing thing. People steal people's photos and use them as themselves, and that's not them, because they want to be treated a different way. I catfish myself. I use my own photos. I use my own photos, but I just wanted to say that because that was brought up. Um, but but people want to feel a certain way, okay? Or and it's amazing. I used to hear a lot of people saying they're trying to. Back in my day, we called it name dropping. Okay, when I worked around a lot of celebrities and things like that, we call it name dropping. So you would go to an event and you would be mingling, right, in a little group, it's little pockets of people everywhere. And so people are talking about what they do, and then if someone's interested, the group is just all ears, right? And then another person might try to chime into the conversation and say, oh, well, I decorated, I decorate for Louis. I'm one of Louis Vuitton's decorators. So I decorate all of his offices. He has offices everywhere from here to Paris to New York, So yes, Louis Vuitton, and he's one of my clients. And then I also, I'm thinking about working with Gucci, just name dropping high-end products, celebrities. Nowadays, they call it clout chasing. And so people will clout chase, and that's what those restaurants demonstrated, that they would clout chase after the fact, after they knew who he was. Then they became the clout chasers, men and women. They love to say women clout chase, but these men out here be clout chasing too, and these businesses demonstrated that they do the same thing. And that is sad, because your business, I worked in marketing, and even when I went to school for communications, one of the number one forms, even to this day, even though we are fast tracking it into infinity and beyond, well, some of y'all gonna get left, okay? Y'all not gonna make it, but we're fast tracking it. The number one form of advertisement is verbal, person to person, and that is still to this day. And it demonstrates that even if it's not person to person, with your social media platforms. And so before I finish what I was saying, I don't want to lose this conversation. We were talking about, I guess there's a lot of catfishing going around. Let me put this up here. Yeah, it's fake TIs. Oh, really? It's been a lot of fake TIs. I'm chatting with us. Oh, really? Fake pictures. Not useless. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even realize it's a community of TIs. Well, I'm sure. I don't know why. They probably some fake ones too over there on TikTok as well. You can find me on Facebook. It's Ethereal. The same name you find here, you can find them on all your social media platforms. Because I'm not hiding from nobody. Nobody. And yep. Now you go. I did change my pictures when I let me show you. So when I do feel like putting on a little powder, I don't wear a lot of makeup though. The most I wear is I'll put some eyelashes on and some operating out of Atlanta. Just a little. She was one of the main. Oh, and let me tell you, yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna show you this picture if you wanna. check me out. I have a link tree on TikTok that can take you there. Okay. Ooh. So when I want to jazz up, that's me on Facebook. Okay. That's when I have my hair and a little powder on my face. That's why I said, we all got pictures that we, well, I don't know if we all do, but I have a lot of pictures of just, hold on for a minute, guys. I have a lot of pictures because I used to do a lot of events, go a lot of places. But I try to use at least the most current pictures. And that picture was the most current that I had. That was put together. I don't know how other people may want to, do their social media, but because I do plan on doing business with people, so I put more of a business look, a little sultry look. So, okay, you'll send me a friend request. I have the same profile pic. Okay, let me see. I gotta take a screenshot. The pictures are small, so I can't see it. But is your name the same? Truth Serum. But if you have the same profile pic, I'll try to remember. I don't go on all of them all the time. It's people sitting over there now waiting for me to approve friendship and I request. The reason, let me tell y'all something about, and I'm gonna get back to the story at hand, to the title of the of this live stream. But Facebook, I don't like it because when you are like when you accept someone's friendship, I don't know. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if they do this on Instagram. I just don't like platforms. I'm just doing it to have a place to spread awareness, and I like current affairs. Okay. But I don't know if Instagram allows you to call directly in to someone. Like on Facebook, they'll let you call, send one of those phone chat calls. And as soon as I get on there, them phone chat calls, I'm out. So that's one reason I don't like Facebook that much. So let me get back to, I want to finish up the story about Keith Lee and how I believe he was a blessing and he paid it forward. So he went to 2 restaurants in Atlanta, and hold on. Make it. So he went to 2 restaurants in Atlanta, and I wanted to make sure this was on. Okay. So he went to 2 restaurants in Atlanta, and those were busted. And then he went to the last restaurant he went to. It was his family. It was late. It was 11 o'clock at night, and they wanted something to eat. And so, some people, he had some, other people besides his immediate family, they looked up a restaurant, and they said, oh, it closes at 11. And they were like, let's try it anyway. And so they went to the restaurant and they placed an order, right? And so the lady went, she cooked the food. They did the same whole spiel that they did with the other 2 restaurants, right? And so the family went in first, placed the order, and then he came in. And when he came in, the owner was so taken back. She was in tears, and she was like, I have been, trying to get in touch with you to see if you can come and give me a food review. And this is so amazing. I just can't believe it, because when I actually, after I seen the two videos about him going to the restaurants and how they treated him, and then I seen a reply video. Let me tell you something. The What was the name of that restaurant? Honey and Milk. I think it was Milk and Honey restaurant. The first restaurant he went to. Well, the people did a reply video, and I don't know if they tried to be funny, or they just don't have a social media manager, or what the heck it was. But in the video, he had his two daughters sitting on the side, and it was kind of like a snub to Keith. His daughter's like, "Oh, did you see that was going on social media about the restaurant? Keith Lee came to our restaurant." And then the dad, he has his pipe. And this is a brother. Okay? When they say everybody ain't your brother, but he has this pipe, they're sitting in a posh area, his other daughter on the other side, and the youngest daughter goes, "Oh, Dad, you don't know who Keith Lee is?" And the dad is like, "No, who is that?" And then like shrugs his shoulders. So he was kind of blowing him off in the reply video after he came to his restaurant. And a huge mistake. Everybody had that was not the road to take. And so many people are out of touch with what is going on, or in different realms of this reality, and especially in business. You need to have somebody that's in touch with what you are doing, and someone who can, if you can't manage it because you're managing your business affairs that got you where you are, then you need to hire someone to manage your social media, public PR. Okay, you need to hire someone to do that. Just on a whim, that just made the fire fierce. Okay, with his fans and everything. And so, and he went to what's the girl's name on Atlanta Housewives? Oh, she was in the group Escape. Y'all probably don't even know that group. Some of y'all might. I ain't gonna put it past y'all. Some of y'all might know the group Escape. And I was singing the wrong song. Oh gosh, Candy's mom. Candy has a restaurant. Well, she probably funded this restaurant for her mother and her mother's sisters, called the Old Lady Gang. They got a bad review too. So it was 3 restaurants in Atlanta. They got bad reviews, but it wasn't like he dogged them out. He just showed exactly what happened, being his authentic self, right? And keeping his brand, how he started it, authentically true to what he said he does. And so, and I just watched Candy with her reply. See, Candy, as far as Candy been in the game. The restaurant guy, he hasn't been in the media aspect of dealing with social media, and you could tell that. I can tell that right off the rip. He might have cut the check, possibly to pay for advertisement on billboards or radio or whatever, but he is not in the trenches when it comes to media. So, but Candy, she was more gracious. Her apology was more polished, and some people can't understand that, but that is why you have a media manager or PR person to polish your sorrow. You are sorry, and there are so many people who want to take jabs at you, and they're not going to care whether you are boo-hooing, snot coming down. It wasn't sad enough for them. Okay, they don't care if you didn't have no tears. You wasn't laying on the ground hollering and screaming. Okay, so when people are in when they have the spotlight on them, and if they have a social media manager, press manager, or whatever, their apologies tend to be more polished because you're not going to make everybody happy. But you can put as much sincerity into that written apology that you probably read over, and I'm sure she did, but that was wise. That's how business is handled. Not going trying to do a snub video and made it worse. Okay. Um, so Candy, she did apologize for the service and asked, if he comes back, um, come to the restaurant. And that's how you do it. And he just may pop in and give her a second chance. So hold on, guys. This chest it from this blanket. I hate like a little hair. Okay, so Candy so Candy apologized, okay? Yo. Okay. For her, their blunder. And so good gracious, it's gonna drive me local. So hold on. I'm watching the speed. As it tends to cut off. So they leave Six Flags. They're hungry. The family hungry. You know how Six Flags can be. If you ever took your family to an amusement park, and if you was young enough, you probably was on some of the rides too. Because that's how we did back in the day. So you're tired, you're hungry, you want something to eat. Keith has his some helpers or other family members. They look up a spot. It's 11 o'clock. The place closed at 11. But Keith is still in true to form. He keeps his business motto, true to form. His family members go in there. They talk to the manager. The manager said, "Oh yes, place your order, and I'll cook it up for you." So they in there cooking it up. Some of the family members still in there because it's a couple of people still in the restaurant. Then Keith comes into the restaurant, and he said. And then I told you what the woman said. She had written to him, but you can imagine how his DMs were. You can imagine how many emails he gets. And I'm going to tell you how you can imagine, because I had to go on the man's page and look, because this just been blowing up all on social media. I don't know if it got to the YouTube streets, but I'm bringing it here to tell y'all what went down over there on TikTok. And that milk and honey guy tried to say on TikTok, you see, people try to put you down, make you less than. Because I'm the manager of a restaurant there, on TikTok. And when he said TikTok, I said, let me go see what the big deal. This man has 14.3, I think it was 14.3 million followers. Okay, now, if you have the right team behind you, you are going to be making some bank. Now, I've heard of people with followers, 5 million followers, and dead broke. Okay, it can happen because they don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm just going to tell you right now. They don't know how to manage their account, and they don't know if they're coming or going. But he has 14.3 million followers. And I said, oh, my goodness. Before that man even made that snuff video, he should have went and looked and said, well, I need to reconsider this. And this is PR, because he was getting bad publicity, but he could have turned it around like Candy did and gave her spill, her apology. And it still would have been a little bit bad publicity, but hers had a little more, it was a little sweeter. Okay. So this man has all these followers. He goes into this restaurant. It's late. This woman had cooked him up stuff, and she had been trying to get in touch with him. Obviously, her restaurant wasn't doing that well. Okay, because a lot of people want you to come, or they cook so good. So I'm gonna say that too, because I don't know which one was her issue, but or they can throw down in the kitchen. And if you go to some hole in the walls, that's what we call them, hole in the wall cafes and kitchens, like Mexican places that they have the authentic taste, um, uh, some soul kitchen cuisines, the hole in the walls. They can cook. They have some good food, but they just don't have. They're in a bad location and don't have the budget for marketing. So who knows what her situation was? Okay, let me tell you something. Keith said, "How much did you make tonight?" And she was like, "Oh, she was taken aback because it took her a minute to answer him." And he was like, what was your final drawer tally?" And she said, "Oh, we made about 2,800. We made about $2,800 tonight." And so he was like, "Well, that's what I'm going to pay you for my meal." Sent the woman into tears. Okay, sent the woman into tears. You know the reviews, the people that are going to flood her restaurant, because they always do. His followers back him up. They go and support in a positive way. When before this happened, you always gonna have some knucklehead followers. That's just that's just in life. You got knuckleheads in your family. You got knuckleheads at work. Can't follow directions to say they like. Can't follow directions to say they doggone life. So her spot's gonna blow up, but he paid it forward. And she, out of all those restaurants he reviewed, she received a huge blessing. The blessing in and of itself of him coming to her restaurant unannounced, unawares, was just would have been her number one blessing, because that's what she wanted him to do. But for him to drop 2,800 on top of a chicken dinner for his family, which probably would have been about with today's prices, he had a couple of folks with him. I'd say about 300, probably 300, depending on what they got. He dropped $2,800 on her, gave her a review, and did it on video. And that just blessings upon blessings upon blessings upon blessings, because you never know who you are entertaining. Okay? Just because they might look a certain way and they might talk a certain way, or they just are not from your nationality, you treat them a different way. And you, as chosen ones, you as TIs, know that very well. But we know why. Well, we have gained knowledge. Let me say that. We have gained knowledge to understand why we are treated the way that we are treated. And it is not only because somebody has a hatred towards you. It's not only because somebody has a vendetta, okay, and they just can't cope with seeing you move on with your life. Because a lot of people have come across narcissists, and they are become obsessed with people. Okay, so we know that end of the spectrum. Okay, but for targeted individuals, chosen ones, our spectrum goes a long way, because we all have been on these platforms trying to figure out why is it the government, why is the police, I mean, why is it all of these different why is it your neighbors, you know why do you have the choppers at 10 o'clock at night hovering over your house? Why? This is what because we are um, because somebody tried to make a joke talking about he was on the spectrum, but we are on the spectrum because we have something that is going to be detrimental to them in the long run. Okay? In the long run, and they know it. It's like people who see your gifts and they can't stand the fact that you can move on, you can walk the streets and not have anything to your name and be happy, and they don't understand that is one of the number one keys of um, being in this realm, is having joy no matter what you are going through. And I know that's hard, that's, well, easier said than done, right? But it's true. It's true. I'm not saying that you're not going to have days that are just worse than others. We all do. But I say I'd rather be on this side of the field, because we have been playing this game, and baby, we are down. This is what is it in football? The fourth quarter. We're about to be done. And if you chose the wrong side, the wrong team to be on because you thought they were going to hold you down, people are getting ready to people are getting ready to see, and I'm talking about these perps. They are going to see, just like the restaurants in the story that I just got through telling you, how they wanted to treat, you know, Keith, after it was revealed to him that this is Keith Lee. He's very popular on these social media streets. But see, people, and I don't just want to say older people, but a lot of older people, they can't connect, they can't relate. And although I am up there with them, but I've always, and still to this day, and people have always told me that I have been a trendsetter, a trailblazer, because I see things before they even come into fruition. You see, I see where a certain person can go and skyrocket to before they even see it. But see, the difference between me and these perps out there and you, the perps have jumped on the side. They've chosen a team to try to snuff out wherever they think that you might rise to. Or they might not even be the person that first indicated that you are special. No, they have a team of people, and they're peons. They're yes men and women. They have these people beneath them, where they send out their, the terminology, they're flying monkeys, to do their dirty work while they hide in the back rooms, you know. And so, like I was saying, I've seen potential in people. Like, I think I've given this example before. Before the Breakfast Club and all of that blew up, when I was working in radio, and one of our afternoon personalities, this is when Facebook first, this is when they first started their live feature. Nobody else had a live. You could go live, okay? Because even when I did my interviews, I hired a cameraman with those big cameras. But this is when they started their live features. And this is before the Breakfast Club blew up and all of that. And when I seen that live feature, and I used to do a morning, like a small little slivet of a morning community post, and I did it on Facebook Live a couple of times, and I got chewed out. Let me tell you, I need to write a book, but I got chewed out, and but I had brought that to his attention. I was like, you should bring this into the studio with you, this live feature on Facebook, because the radio station has a page, and then you have your personal page, and I think this will be outstanding. And I have to say it because I know that position, and some people, when they rise or they elevate to a position and they've been there for such a long time, they either can become stubborn or see your potential and try to squash your potential, or they are afraid of change and really cannot see the change coming as fast as it has come, right? And I think this person had all of those, that whole combination, when I gave that idea, to go live. And we did do a couple of live segments, but I was always, let's go live, do it live, because this is the new thing. This is going to change. And I was saying, you should get the cameras and put them in here. And I just kept getting knocked down, right? Perspective of person, not respecting one another's ideas and one another's way of thinking that could probably bring much more a blessing, like that woman at the end of Keith's tour. Threefold, fourfold blessing to you. It could have brought the same thing to that person. And he would have been doing those video with the cameras in the studio long before. And when they did that, the Breakfast Club took off. They skyrocketed. So perspective of persons, don't have it, because you never know who you're entertaining. And I was saying that us as chosen ones, us as TIs, they don't know truly why we are here, right? That was the great mystery. What is our purpose? Why are we even in this realm? They truly don't know why we're here, and some may know, because there are Satan seeds. There are people with certain gifts that know, and they are here to stop your progress. Okay, any means necessary. That's what they're trying to do. And then the peons, they're flying monkeys, they have no clue. They're just getting their cut for the day, for the week, for the month, doing dastardly deeds because they might enjoy them. They might enjoy stalking people, following people, doing whatever their boss, whatever their handler, tells them to do. But they are going to wind up sooner than later. They're going to be the people like in Keith Lee's tour of Atlanta. They're going to wind up and realize, wow, I treated this person badly. And when I realized who they are, I wanted to treat them with more respect and dignity. But it's too late. It's too late. Guys, we are at the finish line. That story is more profound than I think any of the people who are talking about it, the people who are making their own videos about his tour. It reminds me of what we're going through as people here, as chosen ones. And if you definitely believe in the Most High God, that some people are going to have an opportunity, and they have been here. They are doing what they do. They're doing. They're being a menace to society and a menace to targeted individuals, causing chaos, not realizing that there is truly no coincidences. There's no coincidences. The people that have crossed your path, the people that have been in your life, whether they have been a chosen one or a targeted individual, are a menace. They've been there for a reason, right? To build you up, to give you more strength to endure. But have you ever thought you crossed their path as well? For them to have the opportunity to change their ways. There's not, there's very little time left, right? For the shift. I don't want to don't get crazy wild for this transformation that is about to occur. And slowly, well, I can't even say slowly. It is moving fast, rapidos. I mean, you can feel it in the air. You can see it. I mean, you can literally see the ice wall melting. Information is being, it's so much that was said in Revelations. I mean, it's mind blowing. Now I know some people don't believe in the Bible. That's fine. You just chew the meat, spit out the bones. Okay. Information is there's nothing you can't look up and find if you truly want to research it. If you truly are looking to understand it. I mean, Pentagon has was it the Pentagon? I don't know, wherever they keep the files. A lot of files are now saying, "Oh yeah, there is a firmament above us." These files are coming out. Um, but before I wrap it up, about we have crossed each other's paths. Whether you have been a chosen one, a targeted individual, a perp, the people's path that you have crossed throughout your life, there has been a reason for it. And there will be an accounting for that interaction. And those perps, I tell you, at the end, when this shift is complete, you trust and believe. You do not want to be like those restaurant people who were not ready, for a social media star, right? To come waltzing through their doors and could have changed the trajectory of their business. Elevate. And if they felt that they were elevated enough, well, you have to remember, in certain realms, and I'm talking about some people who are in the entertainment realm, some people who are in certain realms, they go shooting up fast. But when they come down, they They come down hard, right? And some of them are going to have to pass the people that they stepped on and they downplayed because they had a perspective of person when they were on the rise to the top. And they might just see those same people coming back down. And I say that because that person, I think the first restaurant, I think he has a little do-re-mi. He's sitting pretty right now. But that was a connection that he could, an opportunity that he could have made, because he doesn't know that he's on the rise with his bread, honey and milk. I think it's honey and milk. He's on the rise with that restaurant. And I'm not saying to put anything negative on him. This is just how life is. There is ebb and flows, it's ups and downs. But Keith walked into that restaurant, into three Atlanta restaurants for a reason. He was meant to be in those facilities around the people that he was around. And just for instance, had the owner been there and everything was just as it was, but he showed Keith more dignity, not for who he is on social media, but for who he is as a person. After Keith came in, okay, I understand. Take that L. What they say, take that L. But take it like a boss. Take it like a champ. And look, yeah, I fumbled that ball. I fumbled the bag on this one, Keith. But look, here's my business card. You know what, Matter of fact, this is my standard business card. Let me give you my cell phone number. Anytime you're in Atlanta, hit me up, and I'm gonna treat you just like you want to be treated. That's what I would have told Keith. I'm gonna treat you just like you. I'm gonna make you wait in the car. If you roll up here, call me now. Call me when you're in Atlanta. But if you roll up here, I'm gonna treat you like you want to be treated, with the authentic hospitality. Right? He could have made him laugh, made a connection. Because on his way down, and I'm not saying that man's falling, he's going to crumble, but Keith may still be rising. Pretty soon, he off of social media because the headhunters come a looking. He can write his, the older generation are starting to catch on with this social media thing, right? He can write his own ticket to have his brand or whatever. I don't know his purpose, but have his brand go whatever way he wants it to go, whatever, and how he wants to build it, right? But that manager could have sowed a seed into Keith. Because let me tell you, people that know how to fumble the ball, team pissed off, team hotter than fish grease, but know how to come back and make it right, or at least try to make it right, are the ones you tend to remember. Those are the people you tend to remember. So that could have been a seed that milk and honey owner could have planted with Keith. And I guarantee he probably would have remembered him, whether Keith rose or didn't rise. You never know if their paths are going to cross once again. These people that are perps, that follow us, target us, spy on us, tap into our devices. Listen, watch it. Hell, you as targeted individuals, you have to stop being ashamed of walking around your own house. People back in the day say, "I want my own house. I can walk around naked in my own house." Shoot, you found out you're a targeted individual. At first, you want to cover up. They got cameras. They got cameras. They peeping and watching. You have to just, hey, hello, right? Target individuals. We've gone through a lot, and still are going, because we are still in this realm. The game has not finished, but we are down. It's fourth quarter. Yeah. What team are you on? And those perps, those people that have crossed our paths, like I said, and I've said this before, all of them have different levels to them. All of them are not solely corrupted to the core. Some of them have a saving grace still about them. And it's just the way that they will have to handle that ball when it's in their courts and they're around you. How evil will they be? Or do they even have to be? Or when they realize, because maybe they were hoodwinked into thinking that they were going to do something, you know, hang out with the boys, something simple, hang out with the girls, but realize they're in a group of a den of thieves, a den of jack-o'-lanterns. Is that what they call? And that group that they're with, they're up to no good. They are in the car. What was that movie? Menace to Society. Yeah, I remember that movie, Menace to Society. They're getting ready to roll out on someone. It's 4 people in the car, 4 guys, young. This was when California was having those blood and crip battles and turf wars and all of that around that era. This is the ultimate analogy for you perks. Menace to society. 4 of you, all perping, getting ready to roll out, getting ready to do a dastardly deed, shoot up someone, take someone's life that half of the people in the vehicle don't even know, wouldn't know them from a can of beans. They just know what they've heard of them. The lies, the rumors, the slander. Menace to society for folks. This could be women. But one of those perps, it came to him at the pinnacle of his life being altered forever. And that perp, this is an analogy, Menace to society. 4 dudes in a car getting ready to do a drive-by. 4 perps in a car getting ready to set somebody up, do they mischief. One of them says, "No, let me out. Let me out." Now imagine this. Just like People, when you're in school, teachers teaching. It's like Charlie Brown. She up at the board. Womp, womp, womp. Womp, 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 womp. Everybody acting, you got some people, they acting like they understand the assignment. Right? Lost in the sauce. But you have that one person. Look at my head. That one person raised their hand. I don't understand it. Everybody look. But people that are in that class had the same doggone question and was too scared to just say, I don't get it. I don't understand. And then the teacher goes, oh, because she's happy to break something down. Oh, well, let me tell you. Let me go. And then everybody get the understanding of the problem. Minister Society, those perps in that car, one of them had the guts. At the point of his, like the pinnacle, the turning point. And people are aware when they're at the turning point, especially if you're about to do something diabolical. Minister Society, 4 guys in a car, and one of them says, no, let me out. Yeah, let me out. They all turn around and look at him. What? Let you out? But I guarantee, just like the kids in the classroom, some of them faking a funk, like they understand that. Some of them probably understand. But a lot of them want to ask that question. You get that one person just to say, teacher, I don't get it. They all breathe a sigh of relief because they didn't get it either, but they didn't want to look ashamed because they want to have that perspective of person. I know what's going on. I'm smart. I can do all this in 1 second. I'm done. Yeah, I'm that. They don't have a clue. Those 4 guys in the car. And he said that one, no, let me out. I guarantee. This is an analogy about a movie that probably 2 more felt the same way. Felt the exact same way deep in their heart, mind, and soul. Let me out. But couldn't bring it from their gut to their vocal cords because of perspective, a person, because of wanting to be seen in a certain light, other than using their own will, their own thoughts, their own reasoning. They'd rather be looked at as tough. They'd rather not be looked at as the punk. Sorry. They'd rather go gun down people. But I guarantee if you Google, not even Google, YouTube, people at the time of their sentencing, after the crimes that they commit, grown men, grown, big, buff, grown men, after they let the person out, that had that right time to say, I am going to stand on my person, my manhood, who I am, my womanhood, who I know I'm going to be, because at this time in my life, I am turning things around. And that road, I will not go down. And his life changes right? Google. I keep saying Google. YouTube. Sentencing hearings. Not the trial. I don't want you to go through the whole trial. But the breakdown. Big buff men go in, shooting up the place. Go in, killing, raping, doing everything because they're out on the streets, they're free. But then they get caught and they're at their sentencing hearing. Their boys aren't around anymore. They couldn't get in contact with them when they was in the county jail. They then transferred him up to the penitentiary. The boys aren't around anymore. Now they trying to call Suzanne, hoping that she still got some just an inkling of a feeling for him, so he can have some kind of connection to the outside world. Suzanne, you gonna come to my hearing tomorrow? They're gonna get ready to sentence me. No, he don't give two flying flips about Suzanne, because he done dogged her all up and down the streets. I'm gonna say New York, whatever, California, bed hopping. But Suzanne, the only one want to pick up his phone call. YouTube, sentencing hearings. Mm-hmm. These big bad perps out here, when they get caught and they have to stand in front of that judge, and they thought their offense was not so bad, and they hear, yeah, we're going to give you 22 years for each count, consecutively run that. The first screams and the cries and the fainting that takes place is normally with the person who did all of that drama in the streets when he had his buddies around. Google that, perps. Some of the chosen ones, some of the TIs that you come across, they might have been put in your path to smile at you and say, you have a great day. Knowing, and trust me, a lot of our TI community, they know a lot of the perp behaviors. But yet and still, they maintain their dignity and still treat you as a person rather than a perp. You have a good day. You can take that and do whatever you need to do. However you need to handle or finish out your assignment. Or you can let that be the light to turn around your whole world. So, perspective of persons is very key at this time that we are in, fourth quarter. The storms that are happening over in, I don't know if I can even say it because there's so much censorship that is happening on all platforms. I don't know how long we'll even have the opportunity to speak like we speak now in code and broken, and it just sounds so choppy. If someone was to come from another land, we would sound like fools trying to speak in code just to get the message across. But over there, where they are fighting in the sand, the people who were said to be the holy ones of that land. But in my history book that they chopped up and called the Bible, was said that they would be called the synagogue of Satan. Well, the synagogue of Satan is over there showing exactly the seeds that they sprung from: bombing, and then the ultimate that I even believe that it is written in the Geneva Convention, the signing of the Geneva Convention. Now, if I misspeak, give me grace. If you know what the Geneva Convention is, drop your comments below, whether it be now or later. The, the Geneva Convention was a document. It was signed on a warship. I cannot remember the warship it was signed on. But this was when Pearl Harbor got bombed, and the Japanese, they just going down, kamikazes, the plane, the train, the automobile, everybody going down, because they going down with the plane. They using their whole planes as bombs. It got so bad, and the sneaky war tactics that were being done and played out. The Geneva Convention, they had to say, hold up. Somebody wave a white flag. Hold the hell up. We have bumped our natural born heads together. Slow up. We need to sign a document. This is what can happen at war. This is what can happen during wartime. The Geneva Convention. They got together. They made rules to this war. This is how we gonna fight. We got to fight with rules. Even though, people in the street, there ain't no rules of fighting. Shoot. Even these countries had to say, wait a minute, it's just some things you should not do. Okay? There's just some things you should not do, because they was getting to the point. The Geneva Convention, if I'm correct, look it up. Them America, they had to come together. Look, we can't do this. But right now, as I sit on this sofa, them stand folks, and this is not being derogatory. I just can't say certain things without getting dinged, right? Over there fighting in the sand. They started a fight in the sandbox, and nobody was picking on them, because they started the fight. I'm talking about the ones that they said are the so-called chosen ones. Right? The lies they tell. Because in my history book, which is known as the Bible, my father said they are known as the synagogue of Satan. And when you see this over there, baby, that's what it is speaking of in Revelation. So the synagogue of Satan has bombed children's hospitals, have told the Palestinians, look, I know we done squished y'all all, we done took so much of your land. We control so much of you. We cut off your water. Show you right. The Geneva Convention. Y'all remember that? I might take y'all somewhere, but I'll bring you back, because it got to connect. The Geneva Convention. Rules to fighting in a war. These fools, the synagogue of Satan, they have forgotten. But this is to be had. They tell the Palestinians, yeah, go over, cross over by the cut by Jordan and all that. Yeah, get out of Gaza. Yeah, yeah, around the corner, right there. This spot. Go to this spot. We ain't gonna bomb you over there. That's a safe spot. These people run to that spot, and what does the synagogue of Satan do? But bomb that direct spot, and then sit here and you hear people on these social media platforms talking about, well, those are the chosen people. No, see, if you go and you read the words of my history, all of that ruckus that's going over there is meant to go over there because you have had a perspective, a person from from the hills of Tennessee to the Caucasus Mountain of I and my people. And so you see, by you having a perspective of persons, you have not understood what my father wrote in my history book. But I know it's hard to understand because when folks go in and they mess around with the words that my father gave for my grandmother, my grandpappy, and Father Abraham, all I got some cousins over there. Yeah, my cousins, Ishmael and all them, but he said they was madmen. So I don't mess around with madmen, but they're my cousins over there. I know, and some of the Caucasus and all that. Well, I don't know about them Caucasus folks. Yeah, but I know about some Edomites. I don't know if they're the same, but anyway, them synagogues of Satan have bombed women and children because you have to realize that over there's not that many fighting men of age of Pakistanians, right? Just the other day, and the reason why I brought up the Geneva Convention is because these people did the ultimate and cut off all communication from the Gaza. All communications shut down. That is I know that has to be that probably was on line 2 in the rule book of Geneva Convention, because in war you do want to hamper communication, because I've told you guys that's what they go look up, they try to tear down your infrastructure, they try to do this, but they cannot, or are not supposed to, cut all lines of communication. Them people faded to black quickly. Oh, what may have happened in those times where they faded to black. They went to black so fast that what's his name? And then stole people's stuff. What's that man's name? Tesla. First of all, you gotta know this they all in it to. But anyway, he had to step up because it was time for him to read his lines and say, I will enact the he got a satellite system for phones. I forget what it's called. I forget what it's called. So that they can have communications. That's what he did in Ukraine, remember? Ukraine had lost, or some people had lost communication, generals or something. He gave them some of his phones, these satellite phones. They done bumped their heads over there, the synagogue of Satan. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it is written. And for those that cannot see, they won't see and understand. But that is why the Most High says, when he shows them, ooh, It is for his glory, right? Everything. And when these people, I'm talking about not just Edomites, but people who have had perspective of person, and I am shifting to what we know as Black folks, otherwise known as Black folks, African Americans, all of these bywords. When he reveals who that remix of a Bible was truly speaking about, could you imagine the people who have had such hate and visceral feelings for people who just don a copper brown colored skin, are the darkest of the dark, the midnight blues? I call them skywalkers because they're so dark. They look like they walk smooth out the sky, night sky. When these people are, when they are gathered from being scattered and revealed to the whole world who they truly are, that's the ultimate catfish. Yeah, that's true serum. Yeah, that came right around. You came in. See, you never know. That came right into this message. The world has been catfished by the synagogue of Satan. And when they realize, dang, just think of the thoughts that may run through their mind. How they did this person at the gas station. How they sabotaged this person at their job. How they did this person's auntie and uncle at the nursing home. But at that time, grace has left. The tribulation has passed. The tribulation that we are coming upon that has never been seen on this earth, and it's going to be so bad that it will never be seen again. You see, and I know you wonder why. What? How do we get from the the restaurant, baby? This it flowed right together. And I'm going to show you. I want you to hear the perspective of person concept that I'm giving you tonight. That when his chosen ones are revealed, the bloodline, real bloodline on the front line is revealed. This woman, hold on, let me get to this woman showed, and I don't know if you heard her. She was the former leader of the them sand people over there. I'm saying that so I'm gonna get dinged for any. You know how they do you. Uh, where they over there fighting right now, an unfair battle. You know what? This woman had the nerve to say they done flew her into New York City. I'm gonna tell you how powerful and how the reason why you've been downtrodden so bad, and we didn't realize it until He woke all of us up, slowly but surely. At different stages, we have awakened. That's why, for me, some people might say, as for me being a TI, why can I think that a perp has grace? Because grace is still here. Grace is still abound. It's up to that perp to get their life together. Now, there's different levels for every devil, right? I can't tell you exactly who might have the serpent seed, but I can tell you who acts more like a serpent because of his mannerisms, his fruits that he bears or she may bear. But these people have catfished. I'm going to take that one right now. True, sir. They have catfished the entire globe. They have taken the mannerisms, the curly, coily hair, and put it on the side of their heads. They wear black clothing to represent the melanated being that is on this planet. And still in the hour where they have become the biggest bullies over in a land that's supposed to be holy, the land that their lease is up 70 years. Your lease is up as well. That's why your sister over here, Americana, she ain't trying to help because her lease been up last year. It's up. They are the biggest catfish. And that's what the catfish is, right? For this social media. And they take the identity of someone else and pretend to be that. And they have done this for 70 plus years. And as they are over there right now, children screaming and hollering because of their actions and playing the victim. They whisked Judith into New York City for a private conference, a private meeting. And they want to know, what, Judith, tell us, for your people in the land that y'all over there started the fight. But tell us, what is the biggest problem with Israel? This is what Judith said. Let me turn this up. Y'all listen to this.
Saying that the biggest problem that they had was young black people in the United States. But don't worry, they've got some black leaders on the payroll.
The major problem with Israel is with the young generation of the black community. The problem with Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black is with the young generation of the black community.
This was
So let me, I'm going to have to play that one more again so that you can hear what this woman let come from her chapped lips. In the midst of this time that we are in, headed into tribulation, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This woman had the nerve, the gall, the middle-gated gall to open her lips while her people started a fight in the Holy Land, supposed to be. And she said the biggest problem are the black men in America. That ain't telling you something. I don't wake up. They over there across the waters then started a fight with people who got barely rocks to throw. The couple of guns they had, they seized them a couple of weeks ago. And then they started a big fight, dropping bombs and dropping this they unleashed what is the bomb called? Satan. I believe it's Satan or one of his names. They unleashed that on people who barely has two sticks to rub together or tie together to make a slingshot. But they whisked this woman from over there into New York City to have this press conference to tell these people the biggest problem for the Holy Land is black men in America. Now, on a basic level, I'm not even bringing any spirituality into this, anything about the Bible, because most people that were in that conference room that were listening probably could not discern what this woman was saying. They're shaking in their boots, right? For them to have started a war and killing innocent women and children, because they barely have any men that they're fighting over there. So they're raping, killing, and destroying women, children, and homes. The homes that they had on the Gaza Strip. But they done sent an informant into America to say their biggest problem is black men, young black men. But they have people on the payroll, black men on the payroll. I tell you this, and I've told you time and time again, everybody ain't for you, okay? There's always agendas at hand. So for those people who are asleep, the people who are in this conference room and don't know, don't understand, they probably half of them are still sheeples. They barely rubbing their eyes away to see what really is going on in this hologram and in this matrix and then whatever else you are on the world stage. But her and the people sitting on that panel know exactly who you are, black men, because she pointed at you. Way across, well, she over here, but from their land to you across the waters. You are the problem with Israel, black man. Can you say, now turn on your spiritual ears. Turn them on in your eyes. I'm not doing any demonstration, but turn on those ears. Did you hear a trumpet blow? Because I did. I heard a trumpet blow, a siren. You know how we have the shofar? You know, we blow that when war, getting ready to go into battle. Well, she said she trotted her tail from across those waters where they done started the biggest fight that we've been waiting for. I ain't gonna lie. You in some glorious days, so don't be scared. But there's some trying days ahead too. But she done trotted her tail across from them sand-filled dunes and brought her tail into New York City on a conference while this war is going on to tell everyone in that conference room and the media who covered it and the people that they have to distribute this information to that black men, you are the problem. How powerful is that? She blew a trumpet horn that says it is time. And this is in my opinion. It is time for Jacob's trouble. I'm gonna let you hear this one more again because I got to round this all the way out. Because when I get going, I get going. I'm gonna let you hear what she said.
attendance at this secret meeting was Judith Varney Shore. She's a former Israeli consul general who was operating out of Atlanta. She was one of the main people saying that the biggest problem that they had was young black people in the United States. But don't worry, they've got some black leaders on the payroll.
The major problem with Israel is with the young generation of the black community. The problem with Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black is with the young generation of the black community.
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this, not some low-level operative or some rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administrative government who was saying this on American soil.
Come on.
Their biggest problem wasn't Hamas or Hezbollah or the Palestinian Authority or Syria or even Iran.
Come on.
She said that Israel's biggest problem was young black people in the United States. Of the
And she said black people. I say black men because that where the dominant gene can carry on. But black people. I heard the trumpet sound for Jacob's trouble. Now, some people might say, oh, we've been in Jacob's trouble. No. Well, you can have your opinion. You can have your opinion. Just like some people may think that tribulation, we've been in tribulation, but you can't. You see, tribulation, you're not going to be sitting up in a house chilling on a telephone talking to people who you may never see, you run into, going to the store. That's not tribulation. And especially how it's said in the Bible, in my history, how it said, this tribulation that's going to come upon this land, it won't happen again. This is something that's going to be so horrible, and it will never, ever happen in the realm that the people that make it out of tribulation will shift to. It won't never be seen again. That's how bad it's going to be. So, and I want to say I probably heard men when she said black people in America are the problem. How the hell we the problem when we can't even get reparations for the problem we done been through? You know what I'm saying? I won't. That's a whole different talking for a whole nother day. But I'm gonna round this off by saying why I feel another level to why I feel they want to shift the blame to the black people. They dropping them bombs on them Palestinians, taking their weapons, bombing and raping and stealing property. And the biggest problem is the black people in America. You know why she said that. If you have spiritual ears and eyes to hear and all of that good stuff, you know why she said that. Because she knows that the people who have been playing catfish are going down, and she's one of them. And the real peoples that they should have been paying reparations to, that they should have been treating right, are getting ready to be revealed. And they know that they have had that perspective of persons because we could never hide from who we are with the badge of honor that we carry as melanin, you see. Not unless it was how they try to genocide a race by washing it down through mixed racing. Well, there's no such thing as mixed racing, but you can sure lighten that melanin up if you keep sleeping with the inferior gene pool. Okay, that's not a slight. That is just the truth. it's an inferior, like the blue eyes. People have a thing about, oh, you blue eyes. It's a recessive gene. It's not a dominant gene. Brown eyes are dominant. So when I talk to you, if you come on my platform, no, I'm talking about factual things, not racial. And I couldn't be racist if I tried to, because I can't oppress you. But I'm talking factual. They want to get folks riled up to start coming against black folks in America because we're the problem about Israel. No, they know who Israel really is, right? And so I said I was going to round this conversation out because if you hadn't heard, and I don't know, has it? I don't know how long ago, maybe a year and a half now, maybe a year and a half. I said that, and not just that, just doing research, just doing research. Wasn't like um, it just came together like things when I see things they come together like a puzzle. It'd be so it's just smooth with it. But I came online. I think it happened about a year and a half ago, and I said they're trying to genocide our race in different videos. You know, they want this hatred, and if you go on any platform now, oh, the black men and women are at each other's throats. And I forewarned this. They're trying to genocide our race by having the black men procreate with the black woman because they know that they need melanin, so they need to infuse themselves into the gene pool. Well, that's that's their thinking, okay? Um, Also, that's why you see a lot of mixed race couples. A lot of them say, "Oh, I fell in love. I fell in love." Okay, cool. But let me tell you something. A lot of um, if you really ask them, they know why they are infusing themselves, and they're choosing to infuse themselves. And I'm using that terminology. Um, Procreate with the darker race of person because it's a better chance of maintaining more melanin. While our men, and this is just, you know, I think it's just years of the shackles on the mind and was never the shackles on the hands and the feet because they could run. But when they put that shackle on the mind, um, they think that, oh, I'm good. I'm the black man. I can carry the seed, the seed, the seed. Uh, Not realizing that, yes, you are the beginning. But, and I gave this example before, when they procreate behind your back, because there's always a master plan. Thinking of a master plan behind your back with your dominant melanin gene. Once they procreated and made that offspring, and they're rolling the dice. They don't know if it's going to come out light, bright white, or dark. That first, go round. Second go round, a little lighter. But the people across the land, people over in Mississippi, they doing the same thing. They have a network. I'm telling you, a network. Yeah. Oh, Susie, she's gonna have a girl. Oh, wow. Really? When is she? When she's gonna be born? Oh goodness, we're gonna be in town that day. Yeah, yeah. Well, my oh, my Bobby, he's 9 now. Yes, he's 9. Well, that's not that old. I mean, we're gonna make this arrangement if if it's cool, the families are going to meet. I'm just happy that you called. Yes. Well, it's just one thing. Can we be at the birth? Well, it's the particulars of the matter. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we have to see if it's the girl. I'm sure she's going to be beautiful. I'm sure. Yes. But we just want to see um, how much melanin she maintain in her skin through you know the procreation and the mixing. you know, if she comes out a little brown, I guess it'll be okay. But we want to have a particular percentage, if you know what I mean. Oh, I hope you don't take that as an offense. Oh no. So okay, well we'll be down in June. Oh yes, this is going to be great. Just to meet you all and get to know you and get the contract signed. Because this world has been about business, hasn't it? Didn't you wake up to realize you're an employee of a corporation? You are on lands that have been sold, but you think that this is all about I carry the seed. I am the man. When these people are playing above your heads, they're playing above your heads. We are the only, because we have been so traumatized as a nation of people. But this is what helps me to maintain grace with some of my brothers and sisters, because it's all God's plan. And you hear that so many times. It's all God's plan. This is why this happened. And it truly is, because he had to erase who you are, who you were, right? He had to erase that. So those were the shackles also that were placed on your mind. It was erased but not taken away, right? It was erased. It was the men in black. Look here. Erased. Don't remember that you built monuments. Don't remember that you probably was Mansa Musa. Okay? That gold, so much gold. Mm-mm. Don't remember the society that you created and come from. Don't go down there and it's gone. And so you have these feeble thoughts that it's slowly for all of us coming back to online, right? But sometimes, and now this is just me speaking as a black, so-called black woman, African American, and all these bywords that I was given. Sometimes I wonder why it seems that the men, and this is not to downplay them, because trust and believe, I love, just like any other nation of women should love their nation of men. I love my nation of men. I do. But I wish the awakening process would speed up. Because even though there are men that are awake, they still think with the little head, right? And they're not thinking that these people are going to do any and everything to stay in control. And they have done this in every aspect of your life, in society, even when it comes to when they put certain players on the football teams and the basketball teams. It's so what's the word I want? Monodical? Is that the word I want? It's so diabolical. I can stick with that one. It's ingenious. If you look and see how the systems, they all still are to keep you in slavery. Now, mind you, it keeps all of the lower class people in slavery, white, black, but I'm talking about the people who went through, slavery, uh, Jim Crow, all of that, right? Redlining, where they put you on a field um, and this what was the guy's name that kneeled? And I think his dad was black. He was, I don't like to say mixed, but he had two different nations of family members. I can't remember. He knelt, right? But he was saying, and and a couple of other people also were saying how when they're go to training camp, and when they're the first round draft pick, how they have y'all so. I'm not a sports person, so I know this might rub people who are into sports the wrong way, but they have it so exciting, you know. Get up on the stage and you know, Michael Brown, you are the first round draft pick for the Chicago Bears. And everybody's happy because that might have been his team he wanted to be on, so he's excited. He gets on stage and they put a hat on him, and you know, um, Michael Brown, he ran so and so many, and he made so and so many tackles and touchdowns, and all about your height, your stature, your build, your bronze. And they made the comparison if that is the same way how they put you on the stages in the stockyards. Look at this big buck. Look at his arms. Look at his legs. Look at those thighs. Yeah, he can work good in those fields. We're gonna have to find you a little nag. Because they talk like they were animals. Look at the turnaround, buck. Look at the back of these wings on this buck. But you know what they called him, the Mandingo. Right? Oh, we can get a lot out of this one. And then they glamorized it, cleaned it up. Second round draft pick. But we have been so asleep in such a fog that it looked like we were being entertained. For us, and for me as well, because I enjoy a good movie, especially it makes my mind think to figure out what's going on. But when I was awakened and I started seeing puzzle pieces in this movie that's telling me something, that made me more and more intrigued. These people have been playing in our face. They have been literally playing in our face the whole time, right? So I'm not, saying I wasn't under the spell of this realm. But when you see how everything that they put into place was never to let you succeed, only have the illusion that you had succeeded, right? Only have the illusion that you are not a slave, not anymore. Look at your young boy. He's on the basketball team, right? Yeah, I have a college a scout want to come down and watch your young boy. See what he's about. Picking out their, you know, top players, right? And I was telling you guys that because that is what was so many. When you watch, I mean, go to a wing stop or, on a football night, you are just a friend's house or something. You have the men are so engulfed in that activity, and it's just like we're just showing you your slavery and how we recycled it into entertainment for you, and we own you. We let you go. We let you break your leg, and the NFL has the worst contracts of all the sports. So we let you get broke up on the field, and we're already scouting the next, you know, hot thing to come down the line so we can break him up to just make money off of you while we watch you play these sports. And but when they wake up, and I'm still on the men, or start to wake up, they only think about what is between their legs that can start to um, start another life, right? Fertilize an egg. And, they, and in their minds, their concept, because they're not, and I guess I should give them a plus, they're not as diabolical in the mindset and the thinking of their oppressor, because they're still, their thought process, where am I? Their thought process is still right here because they think they can make more children with different races of women, that they're still on top. But the oppressor is right here. And he's been watching everything. See, these people, they don't, in school, I think it was home ec, homemaking. I don't even think they have these uh, uh, home ec classes anymore. Or it might have been economics. I can't remember. But we were asked, oh, write out your goals for, I want you to write a 5-year goal. I want you to write out a 10-year goal and a 20-year goal. What do you think you want to do in 5 years? What do you think you want to do in 20? I mean, 10 and then 20. And man, I remember that was something to think about. I don't think I was in high school. I think I thought I was gonna do everything in 5 years. I was like, hey, I ain't got nothing for you on the 10 and the 20 year. I can't call it. I don't know. I think I got this on 5. And the teacher's like, no, go back to the drawing board. Think again. And I tell you this because these people, their goals are 100. Look, they probably started 20, 50, 100 years out. They have planned. They have been in mastermind meetings. And my brothers have not. They're just been waking up. And the one thing they think is their saving grace. It's what lies between their legs. That they can go procreate with another female other than their own nation of women and be okay. Not realizing the hate that comes all the way from the sandy shores of Israel, where you have not been to even do anything, because they have people of color over there. Remember, they have still some original Israelites over there. Mm-hmm. Um, they're not pointing the finger at those darker, not Israel, but Palestinians, you know? And and Israelites. I think they have the Bantu, or I can't remember their tribal name, that didn't flee. Okay, so they are over there, but yet and still they have this woman come trot a lot. They say she lived in Atlanta, but she had to trot a lot over here to know what was going down. And said it's your fault, you black people in America, the young youth. But no worries, we got some black pastors and ministers and people on deck. They got you covered. But you should know that the youth of today, they're not falling for the okey doke of my generations and past generations of, you know, following the minister into a fiery pit of lies, molestation. Okay? So they have to be very crafty if they have black ministers and whomever they have on their payroll to try to keep you young black people in line, set you up. They think further in advance because they know that their time is short, right? And I'm not just saying that to say that because I heard it somewhere, I heard it in the Bible. Their time is literally short. Now, a year and a half ago, I said, and I gave an example of um, them basically almost like the reverse whitewashing, right? Put it in their heads, make the standard of beauty of a white woman, and always put down the black woman, her standard of beauty. Her skin is too dark, her lips are too big, but yet and still, they will buy the standard of beauty and put down the black woman, right? To get that melanated seed, then this is true. Have your NFL parties, your basketball parties, you know, after you win games or after you sign those big contracts. Just like I did that pretend phone call to arrange a meeting so these two parents can sign a contract to um, potentially marry off their children with less melanin but enough melanin to survive. Well, that game was being played yet and still when all of the women that were ushered in to these after hour parties with these football players and these basketball players didn't have a touch of melanin in sight. It was so and so's daughter. You know, so and so, he's the lawyer. their families are all connected, right? Or close enough to. No money funnels back into the Black community. You marry off, you go snatch one of those NFL players, stay, try it a year, whatever, divorce, whatever. It's always been the master plan, but no one wanted to hear that. It just sounds so just ludicrous. Why? Why? You can't fund the people that you're trying to oppress. So, but you can, profit off of their stamina, their abilities. But ciphers funnel all of those profits back into the families of the oppressors. So we send our daughters, or we even hire women to come from Russia over to saturate these pools. These are factual. This is factual. Keep them away from the Black woman at all costs. But now the tides have changed, and the numbers are dwindling rapidly. I spoke on this last year, a year and a half ago, when Kevin was giving out those statistics. With the population of the so-called Caucasian people, the Edomites here, they're not populating as fast as they were. They're dwindling. I don't know if you guys have heard that, and I'll let you hear it, that there's a crisis, not with just the Edomites. There's a crisis in births with there's a crisis. Although you've been lied to, hoodwinked, when we were told, oh, there's an overpopulation. We're overpopulated. We probably got more bots than souls here. There's bots around, but they're not producing children. Okay, so China has gotten to the point to where, if you don't know what China did through their patriot, I can't even say the word. What China did with their man-loving ways. Let me break it down like that. Years and years ago, when there was a one baby rule, and that one baby, guess what the sex was that they preferred, that the parents had? They preferred that one baby be a male child. So for years, you had parents having children. They started killing the female girl children that they had, or try to hide them, or try to send them to the countryside. But these children would get tracked down. Most of the times, the girls would get tracked down and slaughtered, and they just had this preference. The patriarchy. They had this preference for male children. Well, they damn near wiped themselves out. Because by the time they realized they were unequal in ratio from woman to male, the men started getting so desperate, they started going into countrysides, trying to kidnap women. This is true. So then China changed their rule and they said, well, you can have two children, boy or girl. Hey, they learned their lesson from trying to be patriarchy and having it's about the men. We're gonna show y'all how to run things around here. Y'all don't know how to run things. We're gonna show you. One man, one boy child. That's what we prefer. Mm-hmm. Wise, wise. Now they say a few years ago, probably more than a few years ago. Oh, we're gonna scrap that one child policy. That probably was a woman who thought of that. Two children, boy or girl, it doesn't matter. Two, have two children. Well, by then, they still weren't producing. They weren't procreating. You didn't put a psychological uh, war game into people's heads, and you think that does not affect them. So your country, you have psychological PTSD victims of your own doing regarding their own what is the system called? You know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the system. Reproduction system. You done totally got their head screwed up. So they probably don't want no children. So then China got so desperate because they said we are still dropping. Look, 3 children. 3 children. Have 3 children. This is factual. Have 3 children, and then we'll give you a stipend too. How about that? Doesn't that sound nice? 3 children. That's a lovely. No, you cannot play psychological games with people and not think that it will not affect them. And not just that generation that you played those psychological games on, but all of that data that mother and father carried from those psychological games that you played is passed on to their children. Yeah. And so now China is in a crisis of not having people. They have whole cities that are empty. They have their children that some people had. Well, they are overpriced out of living on their own. So their parents are paying them to come back and just take care of them. They're in a crisis over there in China, a social crisis with dealing with their reproduction system that they tried to manipulate and control. See, the government wanted to put their hands down into their pants, literally, and control them. Well, I wanted you guys to hear the report on England, I think. England. England's birth report. What was it called? I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember what it's called. Birth hand. Hold on, let me go to my page. Let me see if I saved it. Let me see if I saved. And this is gonna be a shocker. I probably did not. Because I wasn't gonna do a story on it, so I was like, how many times can you tell people what's going on? And if they don't, let them find out for themselves. right? No, let me see. Was it England? Let's see. What was the birth count for England in the last 3 months? Let's see if I can.
This is a coot. These
No,
are common noise.
not that. This is a coot. What? A coot? Because I want to see it. I probably can't find it. How about I'll just say it because I want y'all to hear it without me saying it. Let's see. No children born in England for the last 3 months. That'll pull it up so you can hear it. Now, doesn't that ruffle your feathers? They're in a crisis. Let me see. No. Okay, well, no, wait a minute. This one's saying no baby girls born in 3 months across the. Oh no. Everybody is suffering giving birth to children. Other nations of people. It's not. This is not by coincidence, guys. I want you to know. Wait a minute. Maybe it's him. Let's see if it's him.
Are non-white British people more than that. In fact, it's a bigger percentage. And the
He got music all in his
40% of
background.
people living in London weren't born in the UK.
Oh no, I'm talking about something else. Nah, partner.
That's it.
No, hold on. I should have went on YouTube. So, hold on. No. Okay. This one might be children disappearing in UK. Don't get me on children disappearing, but that's not what I wanted. No. This one is talking about no baby girls born in 3 months across 132 villages in India. But that's not what I wanted y'all to hear. I'm gonna find it, but let's listen to this so I can break up the monotony of the silence.
District. Among the 200 births in 132 villages, there were no female babies
Nehapunya has more on this disturbing trend. This incident has been reported in the Uttarkashi district in the North Indian state of Uttarakhand, where in the last 3 months, in 132 villages, officials have found that no girl children were born, and on closer inspection, they found that in 16 of these villages, no girls were born in the last 6 months. Now, officials have sounded an alarm. They've marked these areas as red zones and have ordered a detailed probe. Officials say that it may just be a coincidence that this has happened, but activists say that it doesn't look like that. There is the possibility of female feticide having been practiced in these areas. This was outlawed nearly 24 years ago, but it continues to be practiced many times in clinics that have hoardings that say we will not carry out sex determination tests, but do so anyway. In many cases, parents take home female girl child from hospitals, and then they're known to kill them and bury them quietly. In fact, a 2011 Lancet study said that 12 million female fetuses were aborted in the previous 3 decades. And the reason for this is that in many instances, cultural preferences ensure that families prefer male children over female. The reason for this is that often property passes from parents to their sons and not daughters. Many families still have to pay dowries for the marriages of their daughters, which is why they prefer to have sons instead. And many parents also feel that their family name will be carried forward by their male child and not their female.
Right. So this was posted on September the 29th, this story. So I didn't hear about the India for the last 3 months. Now that's worrying, 3 months, no girl children born out of 132 villages in India. Come on now. Okay, let me see. Turn this down. Oh no. I'm trying to find England reports. No, that's not it. I really don't want to have to do a video. Probably gonna have to do a video and find it. Let me go to YouTube real quick. I don't know where I seen it at. I thought it might have been on TikTok. I don't know where I seen that article at. No children born in the UK for the last 3 months. What time is it? I'm getting tired like I'm up. Okay. Right here. Oh, I'm saying the wrong. Well, the UK, honey. Italy. Here it is. This is the report. Italy.
That's correct. Italy went 3 months without anybody giving birth. What would be the reason for that? I do not know. I can't give you my opinion, and that was the last time I give my opinion on any of this. I was demonetized, so I can't speak freely. All I can do is say what's in the article that I'm about to read.
See how much stuff is being kept and held. When you say these people aren't having no little ones, and this man said he got in trouble.
And yeah, and just use their own words against them and use their own statistics against them. So we all know, right? Well, it's a common piece of knowledge now that we know that the human population is in regression, right? And we're all told this story that there's overpopulation, blah, blah, blah. Here's a thing that blew my mind the other day. Before I read this article, I have to say this. The whole of the Earth's population, which is like 9 billion, 8 billion people, could fit into Loch Ness in Scotland. I did not know that. So the whole Earth's population could fit into that snugly. So that puts, I know it's a big lake.
Do y'all know what, let me, because y'all might not know what Loch Ness is. It's a lake, like, have y'all heard, it was a story called the Loch Ness Monster. It looked like one of those dinosaurs with the long neck that came out the, I'm backwards on this camera, with the long neck that came out the water in Scotland. So what he just told y'all, just so you can just get it in your head. And this, he was saying the whole population of Earth could fit into that region. That's what we know. And we know a lot of people aren't people, right? Yeah, we know that.
Puts things into perspective. Because if we can all fit in there, be all crammed in there, then, you know, it's the Earth isn't as packed as what we think. Even though it's a big lake, I'm not taking that away, but think about what I just said there. So I'm refusing to believe that we're on the brink of overpopulation.
We are not. We are not on the brink of overpopulation. There are, and this is my thoughts on it. There are nations that are on the brink of extinction. Let me say that again. There are nations on the brink of extinction. When you research and you hear, well, wait a minute, Italy didn't have. I have never in my life heard of a country that did not have one birth, not one baby popped out the womb for 4 months. Have you? Italy, no babies. We just heard in India, they genocide and they baby girls over there because of patriarchal rule. They about to find themselves where China is right about now, begging folks. We thought the males was the bomb diggity, and the best. We done messed up. Can y'all have 3 kids? We'll pay you. Can you have 3 kids? We will pay you. Give you housing, give you free food, dental, health insurance. Just have some babies. Them Chinese folks said hell to the no. Because you mess with their psychological, all these wirings up here, and it's short-circuited on their ass. And now they don't want no babies. Their children don't want no babies. And now you're messed up because now you're in the computer age. You know. These children calling folks, one of them people, I think it was a comedian, calling people born in the 1900s. Do you know how old that makes people sound? Oh, you was born in the 1900s. So just imagine if you was born in 1990. That sounds like telling somebody, oh, you were born in the 1800s. So you got these millennials, especially if they are the millennials of these countries where you have psychologically damaged the wiring of their parents. So that means you damage the wiring of those children that you wish you had. Because if even 1 or 2 make it out, oh, the only way they're socializing is through these devices. That's the only way they're socializing. And then they're messing with the psyche even more, and the biological clock, and they got all these test tube baby bunkers popping up everywhere, where you just, hey, what kind of baby you want? We're gonna scramble them up in the back, and we're gonna put them in this pod for about 9 months. What color eyes you want? How smart you want them? Now the smarter you want them, that's gonna cost you that money. How tall you want? I mean, you can. It's just build a baby. They got build a baby machine, factory machines waiting. That's why you got people who are walking around here delusional. And I'm gonna say they delusional. saying that they are women, and that the women that was born women, they not women. They are baby making machines. That's what it's just. So you can't tell me with all of this that I have said before you tonight is not coming and just coming to a head, ready to explode. It's just a couple of things we have not seen yet. It's some things we have not seen, um, you know, because they're making a convincing audience. They you and I say they the group. Now look, check this out, because I don't want no nonsense on my page. I don't care who you like, who you love, and on top of that, I don't care who you want to be, because you got to deal with that. Remember, we talked about your time, what you got to do when it's your time to make that decision at that precise time. It's all on you, boo. I have to tell you, I'm not a fan of what's that chick name? Because I'm about to quote her, and I don't want to quote her and don't know her name. God, dog, this is a girl name. Anyway, she black. She's what we know is black, but nobody like her. Nobody can stand her because she was with Trump, and all that, this and that. But let me tell you, she went to I guess it was a college rally or something, because it was just a clip, and it was transsexuals there, whatever they wanted to be, and how they want to identify. And I see her so clear in my head, but I can't think of that girl's name for the world. So it looked like she was a female, but nowadays, I don't need, you know what? I just found this out today. A birth certificate, a person cannot change their sex on a birth certificate. What was it? No, a person can't change their original name on the birth certificate, but they can change their sex on the birth certificate. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that nugget in there. What was that woman's name? Anyway, nobody likes her. She's Israel. Okay, um, she's formerly known as a black woman. She was at this rally of transsexuals. It looked like a college, and a female got up on and was asking her a question. And if she didn't say it, if she answered her question, it was just like butter and toast on a hot piece of, some toast on butter on a hot piece of toast. It just smooth. It just glided on her answer. It wasn't disrespectful or anything, but it made you could see it. Have you ever talked to somebody and they looking at you and they look like they lost it. They look like they lost in the eyes because they're not following you, right? They look like they just not getting it. But when you really get to the point, it's like you can see the light come on in their eyes, and then you see, oh, they understand it. And at that particular time, they understood it, right? So she's talking, and this woman stands up, and she says, now I want to get it right. I might misquote it, so don't hold me to every word I'm saying. I'm just giving you the gist of the matter. They were having this debate, and I remember the black woman. What was this woman's name? Because that's gonna drive me loony tunes. Saying, so you want me to accept that you are a woman, that I have to accept that you are a woman, and I have to accept your pronouns, adjectives, and verbs. That's what you want me. I must do this. my body that I operate. You want me to have to accept that. And so I don't know, I think she probably was trans, or they have supporters, so it could have been a supporter, but she was a woman and she could have been trans. And she said, yes, yes, I want you to have to accept the fact that I am a woman. I consider myself a woman, and accept my pronouns, adjectives and verbs. And so, can I get a picture this morning? Y'all don't know who I'm talking about. Y'all just sitting here watching me, ain't interacting, but that's okay. Y'all be all right. But the butter came out. She said, let me ask you a question. This is the black woman. She said, I had a stalker. I had a stalker a couple of years ago. She said, and by your delusion that you, and so when I don't know why she said delusion, because it made the other woman clutch her pearls. Candace Owens, thank you. Lord have mercy. Woo, thank you. Put that up here. Because I sure could, my mind was hurting over here. But it was like butter how she answered this question. Now, she said, you want me to accept your delusion that you are a female, and that I must also accept your delusion that I must address you as a female in your own delusion. So, I'm not delusional. I'm, kind of going with it. Y'all look it up. Y'all can find it. What? She said, and then so Candace, cool, calm, collected. Now I ain't say I like it, but sometimes she be on some, just like Trump. Sometimes Trump have points too. So, but Candace said, I had a stalker a few years ago, and she said, by your reasoning, you would tell me, because see, my stalker, in his mind, in his delusion, he thought we were married. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I'm making up some other stuff. I don't go find them. But he thought we were married, and we lived in this house on a hill, and we had 2 children together. She ain't say all that. I'm just adding to the story. That was his delusional mind. He thought that. I mean, this is how he was living. This is a stalker that I had. So what you're telling me is, because it was his delusion, and he felt it, he thought it, he said, I was his wife. Are you then telling me that I must go and marry this man and live on the hill in his delusional mind, wherever that is, and bear his delusional children that we don't have? Well, how she said, y'all got to go here, because she said better than me. When she said that, I had to sit back. I said, now, how anyone can come off that with a rebuttal? I don't know how. I don't know, because she couldn't. She had no words, because I had no words. It was too smooth. It was too smooth. It was like butter. I said, well, goddamn, that's right. You can't make nobody else live in your delusion. And even if you feel that it is not a delusion, you can't make them live there. You can't. You can't force nobody to do nothing. Yeah, that's just like, I can't force nobody. People might think you're delusional because you think you got a sky daddy. Right? That's my delusion. But hey, we can go to the park and kick it. you know? It was, I was like, yeah. Because I mean, they are up there and they are just fighting for these rights. And you know what? I can't understand why you must force it on somebody else instead of, you know, that's what I do. That's who I am. Because trust and believe, I have met the best of the best people, gay, straight, um, men, women. I don't need to be in your bedroom. Know what you do in your bedroom, and whatever you do, and however you handle your life, that you have to answer that with your higher power, whoever you may claim that to be. But as long as we have a respectful relationship, we cool. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, yeah, I don't believe in it. I believe it's wrong. I surely do. I surely do. Mhm. Mhm. And I believe it. I believe it was an agenda. Because it's just too many. I don't care. It's too many people that have popped up and saying and all that they this and that, and it's another way of trying to control the population to go away. That they want the population growth to bloom and blossom and flourish, but it's not happening. It's not happening. And um, yeah, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. So y'all buckle up and hold on tight. It's going to be interesting. Don't be scared, because I just feel this is the time that some ancients in the Bible and Matthew they wanted to live to see these times. Yeah. Ask they asked would they even be around to even witness, you know, the changes. And I have to tell you for myself. And time flies. It goes so fast, and you don't realize it when you're so young. When you're so young, it just seemed like I was just young, a day ago. Not that fast, um, but I still feel young, in my heart. It's just this calendar system that we are in. My heart, body, no, this body, baby. You see me rub my knee a few minutes ago. This body might start having aches and pains, but the youth that I still feel inside is there. And then too, because I have a range of people who watch my platform, so all platforms, and I'm just so happy with that because I have young people, and I have older people, and older people like me. So, um, and that's a beautiful thing. But my goodness, we don't realize how fast time it eludes us, and to be in this particular time, it's moving extremely fast. I mean, tomorrow, after tomorrow, we're in November, honey. When you open your eyes again, we'll be back in the summer. It'll be summertime. Trust and believe. That is how fast the time is moving. And in the Bible, it said at the end times, He will have to speed up. The Most High, the Creator of all, and He will have to speed up time, because if He didn't, even His elect, even the seated soldiers, even the seated soldiers of the Most High Yah, who came down for this mission, they are here. They are raising their hand. They are crying out loud and sparing not anyone will be deceived. That that's a scary thought when you think about that. You see, His elect, they 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 know some things that is trapped. Well, it's not trapped. I don't want to say trapped. That's not the right word. That is, I don't know what the right word is. woven. I like that. That is woven in their spirit and their soul, right? They know things that they brought from the heavenly realm, just like those Satan seeds knew things in the heavenly realms, right? His soldiers, he has to come and put a little cheat code in to speed up time. Because his soldiers, the ones that have a heavenly thread woven within their spirit, their body, mind, and soul, will start to fall due to the darkness. That's a scary thought. Because all of us think that, man, hold on. You think you got it until you don't. Until they have your head on the guillotine. Are you that bad? You think you got it until you don't. So I don't know. That's just a something to think about. You take your soldiers to the edge, to the brink, right? So I'm gonna get off. I hope I took this story and made it into a nice package of understanding. um, but I think I accomplished that, and I will be dropping and trying to get y'all some more content together. It just sometimes so much I want to do, and then I forget about doing it, and I have to get better at that. But I'm out, and much love. If I can get out.